Okay, so we're back with another tier list video here today. Now, last time we did the apps tier list where we ranked 10 of the most popular apps that we all use. Today we're doing something similar, but instead we're going to be ranking logos. Now, we're going to be looking at 10 different logos that almost everyone should know and a few other ones that look pretty cool too. Alright, here we go. Starting off the list is the Apple logo. Now, the Apple logo is one of the most recognizable logos in the whole world and has been for close to 40 years now. It's a very simplistic logo with the stem of the apple being the bite taken on the right side. The Apple logo has stayed relatively similar throughout the company's history, only changing the color but maintaining the classic Apple shape. It's not a bad logo, but it's too simplistic to really catch your eye. The Apple logo can go into the B tier for now. Next up is the McDonald's logo. Now, when you have nearly 40,000 locations in over 100 countries worldwide, you have to have a logo that stands out. And that's exactly what the golden arches of McDonald's has. It's recognized by almost everyone everywhere, but when you really take a look at it, it's just a fancy letter M. McDonald's is stuck in a spot where they can never change their iconic logo, so it doesn't look like this relatively basic logo is going away anytime soon. The iconic McDonald's logo will have to settle for a C tier ranking today. Next up is the Nike logo. Now, another logo that is recognized worldwide, the iconic Nike swoosh is an example that sometimes less is more. Nike has come a long way since the early 60s, but the swoosh has been around for nearly 50 years and has certainly made its mark in the sports world. I honestly like the Nike logo, but once again, it's too simplistic to really catch your eye, so the Nike swoosh can go into the B tier today. Next up is the retro Adidas logo. Now, Adidas isn't afraid to change up their logo every now and then, which is something admirable about the company, but their 1971 iteration of their iconic three-stripe logo is easily their best version and one of the best logos in history. It's a perfect blend of retro and modern style, it's recognized by anyone and everyone, and the fact that so many people prefer it to their current one 50 years after its introduction proves just how nice it truly is. The retro Adidas logo gets the first S tier ranking of the video. Next up is the Starbucks logo. Now, while you won't catch me ever getting a drink from Starbucks, I have to say the artist behind the logo did a pretty good job. The shade of green really stands out, the mermaid on the face of the logo is very unique, and it's a world-renowned brand. It's never truly strayed from its original idea, only making positive improvements as the years have gone on. If we're strictly talking about the logo and not the company itself, the Starbucks logo is one of the best out there. It can get an A tier ranking today. Next up is the Android logo. Now, I've never been a big fan of this one. I don't know if it's the simplicity behind it or the weird shade of green they've decided to stick with or the shape of the robot itself, but it doesn't seem easy on the eye to me at all. The new one is even worse as they've completely given up on the robot's body. All in all, a very poor logo from a massive player in the software world. The Android logo gets a D tier ranking today. Next up is Ferrari. Just like the cars they make, the Ferrari logo is one of the best when it comes to the world of supercars. The yellow backdrop with the black prancing horse on the front works exceptionally well together, and the subtle Italian flag on the top really tops it off as an amazing logo. The only thing I'd change is the wording on the bottom, as I feel like it takes away from the logo itself, but all in all, the Ferrari logo is one of the best, if not the best logo in its class. It can get a solid A tier ranking for me today. Next up is the Pepsi logo. Now, this will probably be the hot take of the video, but I really do not like this logo. It's just a circle with red, white, and blue. There's nothing inherently interesting about it, and even when you add some lettering to it, it still looks cheap and unprofessional. For a brand that is as well known as Pepsi, I feel like they could do a lot more with this logo. So Pepsi, unfortunately, you have to go into the F tier today. Next up is the FedEx logo. Now, while at first glance the FedEx logo seems pretty boring, it's a little detail that really gives it the hype. The arrow in between the E and the X is something I didn't notice for the longest time, but once I did, there was no way of unseeing it. It's a really cool element that the logo designer came up with, and it's out of the box, which most companies don't do nowadays. It needs a bit more flair to really climb up the rankings, but FedEx can get a solid B tier ranking today. And last but not least is NASA. Now, NASA has always been a staple in space exploration, and they have a pretty sick logo to go with it. The blue backdrop with the white stars and the extra red part work really well together. While I don't love their newest logo as it seems too modern and simplistic, their old logo really hits the spot for me. NASA's iconic space logo can go into the A tier today. And that wraps up our logo tier list. Now, logos are what give a company its distinct flair and what connects its consumers to their product. There's thousands of logos out there, so there's a high chance there will be a part 2 to this video. Let me know what you think of each one down below, and I'll catch you next time.